All right, a new season is just around the corner, and you know what that means. A brand new assault rifle that has everybody buzzing. So the big question is, could this be the gun that completely flips the meta on its head? Let's dive in and find out if all this hype is for real.
Yep, get ready for it. The RAM-7 is dropping in Season 8. And look, any new AR has the potential to redefine how we all play the game, right? But this one looks really interesting, at least based on the early info we're getting our hands on.
And that really brings us to the big question, the whole reason we're doing this explainer. Does the RAM-7 actually have what it takes to knock off the current kings of mid-range combat? Well, that's exactly what we're going to figure out today.
Okay, so let's properly introduce our new challenger, the RAM-7. Now, big disclaimer here, everything we're about to talk about, it's all based on early predictions and leaks from other versions of the game. So the final stats could totally change. But even with that in mind, what we're seeing so far, it looks very promising.
So first thing you got to know about the RAM-7 is its design. It's a bullpup rifle. Now, what the heck does that mean? In simple terms, its action and magazine are behind the trigger. This lets it pack the punch of a full-length barrel into a much shorter, more compact weapon. For us in the game, that usually means one thing: awesome mobility and a really snappy ADS speed, all without losing that long-range power.
Okay, let's get to the good stuff. The part everyone's been waiting for, the raw numbers. How does this thing actually stack up on paper? Let's break down the stats that could make the RAM-7 the next top-tier weapon.
First off, let's talk fire rate. We're looking at a predicted 857 rounds per minute. I mean, this thing is an absolute buzzsaw. To put that into perspective for you, the RAM-7 spits out a new bullet every 70 milliseconds. That tiny, tiny window of time, that's what decides who wins and who loses a straight-up gunfight. And it's not just how fast they come out, it's how fast they travel. With a bullet velocity of around 850 meters per second, it's going to feel like you're shooting a literal laser beam. What this really means is you won't have to lead your targets as much, even at a distance. Your shots are just going to feel way more responsive and dead-on accurate, especially when you're tracking someone on the move.
So you've combined that insane fire rate with the damage, and what do you get? A crazy time to kill. Up close, inside 28 meters, you're looking at a 4-shot kill. That means you're melting enemies in about 210 milliseconds. And even when you stretch it out to 46 meters, it's still a lightning-fast 5-shot kill. Those are some seriously competitive numbers, folks.
And hey, for all you sharpshooters out there, it gets even better. The RAM-7 is expected to have a 1.5x headshot multiplier. So think about this. In that second damage range, if you just land one shot to the head, you can finish them off with 3 to the body. That drops your time to kill even more. This is definitely a gun that's going to reward players with good aim.
Okay, so raw power is great, but we all know that's only half the story, right? How a weapon actually feels in your hands is just as important. So let's talk about what it's going to take to master this thing. Let's look at its handling and control.
All right, now the recoil. This is where things get a little tricky. The pattern seems to have 2 parts. The first few shots go pretty much straight up, but then it takes a pretty sharp kick over to the left. It's not impossible to control, not by a long shot, but it's definitely going to take some time in the practice range to really get the hang of it. So let's just recap the handling here. That bullpup design gives it fantastic mobility. Its ADS speed, aiming down sights, is really solid. The only real downside we're hearing about is the iron sights on the base version. They're apparently a little bulky. But let's be real, most of us are going to slap an optic on there anyway, and problem solved.
All right, here we go. The main event. How does this new kid on the block stack up against one of the most beloved, most dominant mid-range ARs in the entire game? It's time to put the RAM-7 head-to-head with a legendary Type 25.
And when you put them side by side on paper, you can really see the RAM-7's potential. Its predicted TTK is either right there with the Type 25 or maybe even a little bit better. Their movement speed? Identical. But here's the real kicker, the key difference. The RAM-7 is expected to have a much more stable, more manageable recoil at range, and that could be a massive game changer in those mid-range gunfights.
Yeah, in fact, somebody I saw summed it up perfectly. They called the RAM-7 the Type 25 Pro Max. And it really fits, right? It seems to take everything we all love about the Type 25 and just makes it better, especially when it comes to that all-important recoil control.
So after looking at the stats, the handling, and that head-to-head comparison, what's the verdict?
Where does the RAM-7 actually fit in the meta? Is it really destined to be the new king?
Okay, so here's the final verdict, based on everything we know so far. In its sweet spot, that crucial mid-range, the RAM-7 is shaping up to be an absolute monster. But it's not going to be invincible. Get up close and personal, and a fast SMG will probably still beat it. And at super long ranges, it's likely going to get outgunned by more specialized weapons.
And listen, I gotta say it one last time just to be super clear. This is all based on early leaks and predictions. The devs could absolutely change these numbers before the official release, so we're just gonna have to wait for that Season 8 update to get the final locked-in stats.
So, that leaves us with the million-dollar question. What do you think? Does the RAM-7 really have what it takes to become the new mid-range king and kick the Type 25 off its throne? Or is all this hype just, well, hype? Is it just going to be another average gun? The stage is definitely set for a major shakeup in the meta.